What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Podcast time.
Podcast.
It is
The 5th.
the Sacred Season edition.
Ooh.
We're going to talk Sacred Season.
I like it. Excited.
Joseph Norris, Carson Stout, Jamie Barfield, Caleb behind the mic.
Yo. Hi, Caleb.
Caleb sipping on some Coca-Cola.
Yeah. What are you sipping on?
I'm sipping on some Waterway Nutrition. This is called either Sunrise or Sunset. Huh?
Put the unhealthy name. You got like the Skittles version of it.
Yeah, it is the version, but it's called like Sunrise or Sunset. I think it's like Herbalife. Remember Herbalife? That was a big thing back in the day.
I don't remember Herbalife.
Is Herbalife the people that used to be on the LA Galaxy jersey?
Yeah, it is, I think. I think
Okay.
so.
One of those facts in Caleb's mind.
I was about to say.
I think it is.
No clue.
Caleb's giant brain.
I had an LA Galaxy jersey. That
You did.
I think.
Landon Donovan?
I don't think I had a name on the back. I just think it was a LA Galaxy like warm up jersey, and I remember the Herbalife look on the front.
So last week, my Super Bowl teams played each other.
Oh, boy.
They did.
Who are your Super Bowl teams?
Broncos and Bears.
The two worst teams in football.
Just so you know,
Yeah.
you single-handedly ruined a couple of my fantasy teams because I bought into the Justin Fields hype.
No
You're
way.
welcome. You are welcome.
Shut up.
After watching the two teams that I chose to go to the Super Bowl last week, after watching the entire game, I have decided I was wrong.
You were.
Those two teams are not going to the Super Bowl.
I could have told you that
Yep.
preseason week
It's a
one.
good call. Well, and it could just be maybe their Super Bowl was the number one pick.
I mean, that is where we are racing hardcore for that.
We were playing in the Caleb Williams Bowl.
We both tried to lose that game multiple times. We were just like, here, you have it. No, you have it. No, you have it. And I was wrong. So I am 5 weeks into the.
We're on
this
week
is
5.
week
This is
5.
week 5, yeah.
So I am. So whenever you watch this may be week 7 for you, but right now we are week 5, and 5 weeks into the season, my Super Bowl picks are wrong.
Yeah,
Change them.
That's who's next?
who's
who's
your
the new
updated pick?
who's the new two?
I am not ready to make that proclamation just yet.
Week 8.
But
Joseph, are the Eagles going all the way? Be honest.
49ers are looking tough. Right?
Tough, man.
They have a
I
head-to-head
like
matchup.
49ers, man. I used to hate them when I was little because Joe Montana and then they got Steve Young right after Joe Montana, and they were just so good whenever I was a little kid. So I used to like, I mean, them and the Cowboys. Couldn't stand them.
I can't stand the Cowboys now.
I think that's I think Cowboys are very similar to like Chick-fil-A sauce. Like you either love it or hate it. You don't feel that way about Chick-fil-A sauce?
No.
I hate Chick-fil-A sauce.
Right?
It's
Like
so
you either
gross.
love it or hate it. Like nobody's like, it's all right.
It's gross.
This is a move for me. Just
I'm
so you
taking
know,
it back.
this is a move for me.
This is his unpopular
So I'm like,
opinion.
this is kind of like Chick-fil-A sauce for me. You know, like I will say that quite often through the week.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like a go-to line.
Yeah, so like you either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it.
Wow.
And you can't figure it out sometimes. Sometimes you dip it and you're like, I feel like I like it, and you're like, I hate this. This is so disgusting. You don't feel that way with Chick-fil-A sauce?
No.
Interesting.
I mean, Polynesian's the best Chick-fil-A, like the best sauce Chick-fil-A has, but like Chick-fil-A is just it's a
Chick-fil-A
staple.
has some really great sauces.
Yeah.
It is impressive how great their sauces are.
Right.
Zesty buffalo.
I would say, what's the worst, Caleb?
The worst
Yeah,
one?
worst.
Honey mustard. It's
Amen.
gross. So gross.
Honey
Mustard's
mustard
gross.
is disgusting.
Their
niche.
barbecue's delicious. Their
I put the sriracha on mac and cheese.
that's what I
It's
get.
so
Sriracha,
good.
dip my fries in it.
Sriracha, mac
Awesome.
and cheese.
Love it.
You
Sweet
mix it
spicy
in there.
sriracha. So good.
Avocado lime ranch is pretty good.
Joseph, if you're a big fries with sauce guy, get a creamy salsa packet and dip your fries in that. Change your life.
Okay.
Change your life. 100%. It change your life.
Change your life.
It's life changing.
son.
Change your life.
Life changing.
Never be the same.
You got a haircut, a little
Never be
fresh
the same.
cut.
Had to.
Who did that for you?
DC. Shout out to my man DC at the mall.
DC.
Bro, if you're ever looking for a new one, go see May at Neptune.
Oh, yeah.
Tabena's soon-to-be wife. Bro,
Yeah.
she'll get you right.
Yeah, May does a good
Carson
job.
is Haley's husband. Haley has been on staff here at least a year because preschool last year.
Since January.
Okay, January.
Since January.
That's right. January. So almost a year. And she now runs our preschool, and she's amazing and awesome. And so Carson's hanging out with us in the office today, and seeing what life is like around here. And so we said, hey, let's throw him on the podcast.
Let's do it.
And let's talk sacred season. Okay. So you have been around here for at least
4 years.
4 sacred seasons?
My first Sunday was a sacred Sunday.
So awesome.
My first Sunday was the sacred Sunday. Haley and I walked in. We were like, what is happening? What is going on? I had experience with Pentecostal church and Church of God. Like I had experience with that in the past. Haley grew up Methodist her whole life. And so we walked in and I was shocked. I was like, what is happening?
so let's explain, because there's a lot of people who are coming to the church now that have never been through a sacred season with us, and they hear you say that and they have no clue what Sacred Sunday is. Right. So for us, we do 21 days of fasting and prayer, and then on the last day of that or the day after, depending on how you calculate it, we call it Sacred Sunday. It's a Sunday that we set aside, and we try our best to pray for every person in the house and to pray over their specific request or specific needs that they have in their life. And it is oftentimes a very prophetic service. It's very, very emotional at times. It's you have the highs and the lows, and it is just a wild, not in like, oh, people are running around and, jumping over chairs. It's wild as in like, it's so emotional.
What is happening? Yeah.
It is like, oh my goodness, like you're weeping and on your face before God, and then you're jumping around and rejoicing over what God is doing in somebody else's life. And it is just a wild service. It feels like a roller coaster. You're up and you're down and you're twisting and you're turning, and it just feels like
totally.
It is so unique to any other service that we have here throughout the entire year.
I would say it's like if you come into a sacred Sunday as like it's just a Sunday and like you haven't done anything the previous 20 days, it's gonna seem wild, it's gonna seem crazy. But like if you've been bought in those 20 days where you've given it everything, you've fasted, you've prayed, you've done devotions, like you've done all of it, that 20 days is like, you get to that 21st day on Sacred Sunday, and it's like, we made it.
Yeah.
We made it. Like,
so there's a celebration of the flesh. Mm-hmm. There's a celebration of the spirit. There's this emotional investment over the last 21 days, because you've been praying for this specific need for 21 days. Mm-hmm. You've been praying for it for years, but you've been invested in it specifically over the last 21 days. You're fasting, you're praying, you are ready. You're right, Caleb. You're fasting. You're praying. You're ready. We are in it. And then you get to that moment, and you're like, this is. It almost feels like the pinnacle of something.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you're like, this is it. We made it. We made it to this moment, and now God's going to do something incredible inside of our life because we made it to this moment.
I mean, it's those 20 days. It's like, you do those 20 days looking forward to that 21st. Yeah. Like, man, I can't wait to get there. Not like I can't wait to get there so I can eat lunch again. It's like, I can't wait to get there to see what God is going to do on that 21st day.
Amen. So true. So this will begin this year, January 7th. And I want this to almost be conversational about previous sacred seasons, but also informational for people who have never been a part of a sacred season with us, so that they kind of get the grasp of what sacred season is going to happen. So it's going to begin. I think the 7th is the date, 7th of January. Let me make sure that's right. The 7th is that first Sunday, 7th of January, and then Sacred Sunday would be the 28th of January. And for 21 days, we fast for 21 days. We're going to read this book by Jensen Franklin. We're going to read it coming up here in the next few days. I think it's going to start like November the 1st or something, that we're going to read this together as a church to kind of prep ourselves for what fasting means, how to operate inside of our fast. And so we're going to read this. So we fast every year. I kind of challenge everybody to fast your favorite meal. And so if you're fasting breakfast, then whenever you finish dinner the night before until you eat lunch the next day, that is kind of what fasting breakfast looks like. Or if you're fasting lunch, whenever you're done with breakfast to the time whenever you're when you eat dinner that night. Right. So we challenge everybody to fast their favorite meal. Fasting isn't easy. Fasting isn't fun, but man, it's so incredibly powerful. I feel like it prepares you. You know, Jesus comes off the mountain. I always use this, concept. He comes off the mountain, and his disciples are like, "Hey, these demons aren't demon possessed guys. These demons aren't listening to us." And Jesus is like, "Oh man, this stuff only happens through fasting and prayer." And so there's a different depth of authority that we get to walk in through seasons like this. And I hear people say all the time, why isn't sacred season all year long? And that sounds great, except for I don't know that throughout the entire church you could get people to live like this year round. I think it is so incredibly draining, but also refilling at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, yearly during the fast, I'm losing, 20 pounds every single year. Shouldn't need to this year, but, so it is a season of truly pushing yourself away and saying, okay, God, I'm taking this time that I'm supposed to be fasting that I'm supposed to be eating lunch right now. And instead I'm opening up your word and I'm reading. And last year we took our lunch time here at the church on the staff, and we said, okay, hey, we're going to not do lunch, but we're going to do a book study together. And so we did Why Revival Tarries together, and we just spent that time together talking about the word, talking about, revival, talking about the future of our church. And so fasting is incredibly challenging, but also incredibly amazing. Yeah? What is fasting to Joseph? Are you good at it?
I don't know if
my dad was amazing at it. I'm terrible.
I'm about to say I think it depends. It depends on. I think sacred season. Yes, I think there's such a buy-in to that season. I mean, this is my second year being able to be here in person, but even participating from afar or in services or seasons similar to it in previous ministries, but. It's making it a practice throughout the year beyond sacred season. I think it's probably where I don't do the best job of it. I have found myself in seasons where you're almost desperate spiritually. So you're like, what have I not done? I've prayed, I've read, I need to fast. Okay, God, what you want me to fast? And so at that point, but like making it a consistent habit is what
we do as a staff. The first Monday of every month, we fast together. And this past time, early that morning, Johnny Kilman sent out a text saying, hey guys, I'm really struggling already this morning with my fast. And as soon as he sent it, I hadn't even thought about it. And I was like, man, today's fasting day,
That's right.
And it's almost that battle of flesh and spirit. The flesh don't want to fast.
That's right.
The flesh wants to eat.
Yes.
But the spirit man needs it. And, there's, again, some sort of level of spiritual authority that is attached to your fast. So that's the reason why we do it.
Yeah.
We've done Daniel fast in the past. We've done. It's so hard. Those are so hard.
That is tough.
We've done a lot of different things. I found the easiest thing is just to say, hey, fast your favorite meal. Yeah. That way everybody can do it. Everybody can be a part of it. And it's not Daniel fast almost became recipe sharing is kind of how it felt, where everybody was, oh, you can't eat that. That has this in it. Or, hey, and it just didn't really have the fasting feel that
you were so worried about the food, you got out of the spiritual aspect.
Yeah, it really did. It really did.
I remember Dan and Sam Mawson telling me and Haley about how they were doing the Daniel fast, and like Samantha's like pulling like these like basically air in a package granola bars out of her purse, and like she's like, man, we had to plan so much, we had to do so much of this, and so the next year Haley and I were like, we should do the Daniel fast, like let's try it. And we decided we were going to do it 4 days before sacred season started. And we looked at like all of the planning and like all of the things that had to go into it. And we were like, yeah, favorite meal sounds good. Yeah, favorite meal sounds great. We'll just do favorite.
We did a Daniel fast. The last time we did Daniel fast,
it was awful.
We towards the end of the Daniel fast found, I'm going to get the name of the bars wrong, but something like Laura bars or something like that. And they were the ones we found were like completely all natural, and so we ate them, and they were so like incredibly sweet, and we were like, oh my goodness, these are amazing. They just gave us the power to get through, and we bought a bunch of them because we were like, hey, even after sacred season, these are amazing. We'll eat them afterwards.
They weren't that good
and
after
then
sacred season.
yeah, you get 3 weeks after sacred season, and all these sugars are back in your body, and you eat one of them, and you're like, this thing is so gross.
Yeah.
Why did I like this during sacred season?
For those who don't, what is the Daniel fast?
Daniel fast is basically no meat,
No
and
process.
anything that comes from the ground you can eat. So fruits, veggies, anything that is grown natural,
corn, rice.
right? Anything like that that's not processed, that has no preservatives, nothing artificial. It's just completely natural, whole foods. You're eating all of that minus the meat.
No cheese.
No cheeses, no dairy,
cheese.
nothing like that. Yeah.
No animal products.
No animal products.
Man, the game changer was fried rice. Fried rice during the Daniel fast was awesome. Soy sauce, white rice. It was awesome.
Can't do white rice.
Or we did it with brown rice, sorry. But
Yeah.
that was a game changer.
Yeah, fasting is.
Difficult.
It's a beast.
Challenging.
It is.
Yep.
It really
Challenging.
is.
But
I would say
so incredibly beneficial.
I'd say the name of the game for sacred season all the way through, but like especially for fasting is like the sacrifice. Like that comes with it. It's like when we talk about it all the time when we talk about fasting, it's like the denying of your flesh, but like it's a sacrifice thing. It's like you gotta cut some stuff out. You gotta like be super intentional
and the accountability of it.
Absolutely.
The accountability of, hey, if you see me, struggling, I need you to encourage me. I need you to, keep me motivated because I'm going to struggle through this. And thankfully, we have an incredible crew around here to help keep everybody accountable and motivated. Yeah. Then on top of fasting, we do very specific things for sacred season. We are very intentional with Monday night prayer.
Yeah.
It is very intentional what we do and how we do it. And we ask everybody to commit to 5 things through sacred season. For 21 days, I'm going to ask you to commit to 5 things. Number 1, that you're going to fast. Fast your favorite meal. Just whatever it is, fast, okay? Number 2, that you're going to serve somewhere in the body of Christ. So I don't care if you serve once through the 21 days at an outreach event or if you serve on Sunday morning somewhere, but we're going to ask you to serve consistently or as much as possible for 21 days. You all right, bud?
I was going through it.
Oh, okay. I saw you holding the mic and coughing into it. I was like, so to serve for 21 days. Number 3, we ask that for 21 days, you show up and be a part of what God is doing here 3 times. And that is Monday night prayer, Wednesday night unity services, and Sunday morning. Show up and be a part of the gathering. This all comes from Joel 2. So to show up and be a part of the gathering 3 times a week. Sunday morning, Monday night prayer, and Wednesday night unity services. Number 4, we ask you to get connected to a small group. And we have small groups that will just go for 21 days and then be over and done with so that you can get connected somewhere else, or you can just be done with it and say, hey, I'm done with small groups. I tried it for 21 days. That's all I'm doing. And then number 5, we ask you, or 5. Yeah, number 5 is on Sacred Sunday, we're going to give a special offering and to give with to sow with the expectation of reaping, and for you to prayerfully consider something above your tithe and offering. This is a special one-time gift. This is the only time we do it through the year, a special one-time gift that helps vision be fulfilled here and in the kingdom of God. And so those are the 5 things we ask for going into sacred season. And so fasting is incredibly difficult. Monday night prayer is amazing. Wednesday night unity services are some of my favorite moments of sacred season for the 21 days. We bring in guest speakers to youth. We bring in guest speakers to kids ministry, and then we have guest speakers here. Some are my friends or people that I trust, and it's always an incredible time.
Amazing.
It's always special. Soxy's joining us this year for those Wednesday night unity services. So we're excited about having them here. Let's see. Caleb's telling me to check my phone.
Mama was waiting on a response from you, so
Well, respond. Tell her I'm in a podcast.
I did.
What are we talking about? Wednesday nights.
Wednesday nights. I would say one of my favorite things about Sacred Season is like, we call it big church because it's what it is for us. But like Kids Point does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like we encourage the kids to fast something. Like obviously it's up to the family like what they fast. But like we encourage the kids like if you watch YouTube and you spend a lot of time watching videos on YouTube or be on your phone or like playing games on your tablet. You can fast those things like candy for 21 days. Like we encourage those things. The church does a devotional. Like we write a devotional for the kids as well. And like we encourage them to do that, and we do that with them. And we talk about it, and like the same things that we're doing in big church, we're doing them in Kids Point too. It's like that's one of my favorite parts about
love it.
Sacred Season.
Absolutely love it. And I love that people who Joseph talked about before he was even connected here. We have churches that aren't even a part of us that participate in our Sacred Season just from afar, like you guys have done for years prior to ever getting here.
Yes, sir. Tell you, it's just nothing like it. I'm gonna tell you, one of my favorite Sacred Season memories for us was the year of COVID when you guys were having the Sunday night service and we weren't able to meet on Sunday nights because of all the regulations and stuff and what we thought was appropriate. And so it provided me and Beck an opportunity not only to participate as we always done from afar, but then we would drive down every Sunday night and attend the services. And it was incredible to be a part of that experience. And then that Sacred Sunday is something I'll forever remember of how things were declared over services and areas and things like that. We were singing Rattle. It was just those are services that mark us. I believe that they mark our spiritual year. They're still thinking through things now in October of things that took place this past January, projecting into the current Sacred Season that we're getting ready to head into. So it's a powerful season, and I'm so thankful for it.
That season definitely projects your year.
100%.
For ministry, for your life, for your family. What you do for 21 days, I truly believe sets your life up for.
It sets the tone.
It sets the tone for your year.
Yeah,
truly does.
Yeah.
I won't say you gain the blessing and the favor of God on your life, but I will say that you set your life in alignment to receive the blessing and the favor of God on your life.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And also it's practical too. It takes 21 days to form a habit.
Yep.
So by doing that, you're enhancing your spiritual life by putting these spiritual disciplines in your life for these 3 weeks that would hopefully continue beyond the services and the prayer services and the devotion. So.
And we see it tapers off through the year. We'll have a strong push of Monday night prayer through through Sacred Season, and then it slowly tapers off through the year. We have a strong push of Wednesday nights, during Sacred Season, and it slowly tapers off through the year. But those moments, those times resonate with people, and they stick with people, and so it is absolutely incredible and has been for the history of our church. I was actually reading in my prayer journal. I took pictures of it in my prayer journal. Maybe 2017, I think is the date, or 2015 or 2016, going into 2017. But the journal entry was talking about Sacred Season and what God had spoken over me going into our first Sacred Season, and it said this was January 24th, 2017, and it said Tony came into my office, said we have $1,000 in the bank, this much in bills due, I'm stressed, I don't know what to do. On Sunday, we're ending our this was our first one, our Sacred Season of fasting and prayer with a special Sacred Season offering. I know God has inspired my heart, with the words to give with the expectation of receiving, and I'm expecting a breakthrough on Sunday financially for our church like we've never seen before. God is faithful. And that's 2017. Had $1,000 in the bank, didn't know how we were going to make it. And looking at what God has done here inside of us over the past 6 years, 7 years is absolutely humbling and amazing and incredible to even think about and ponder. And it's special. The season that we are in is special, and I don't want to. So often we miss the trees for the forest.
Yeah, I think that's what they say.
Yeah, that's the saying. Yeah.
Or miss the forest for the trees or something.
I
like
don't
that.
know.
Yeah, we miss the forest for the trees.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
and
Yeah.
so we're so consumed in what's happening right now that we miss the bigger picture of what God has actually done over the past 5 or 6 years here. It's just absolutely bonkers, like amazing. And to me, I truly believe it started with this season. It started with us saying, okay, God, we're giving you our year, and here goes how we're going to do it. We're going to commit everything to you, and just standing on the promises of Joel 2. Listen, Joel 2, this is the faithfulness of God, the promises of God, that he looks at us and says, consecrate a fast, call a sacred assembly. These are the things that we do during sacred season. Consecrate a fast, call a sacred assembly, call them into the house of the Lord. Turn to me with all your heart, fasting, weeping, mourning, rend your heart, return to the Lord, and see if he won't do these things. Blow the trumpet, call a fast, call a sacred assembly, gather the people, sanctify the congregation, assemble the elders, gather the children, the nursing babes, let the priests who minister weep from the porch to the altar, and then the Lord will, verse 18, then the Lord will be zealous for his people, and the Lord will answer. He'll send grain and new wine and oil, and you will be satisfied. He will remove, not he might, this is what he said, I will do. I will remove far from you the northern army. I'll drive them into a barren and desolate land. Fear not, be glad, rejoice, for the Lord has done marvelous things. Don't be afraid, be glad. He says he's giving you former and latter rain together, causing the rain to come down. The former rain in the first month, and the former rain and the latter rain in the first month together. The threshing floor will be full of wheat. Your vats will overflow. I will restore to you the years that the swarming locusts have eaten. You shall eat in plenty and be satisfied. These are all the promises from Joel 2 that we try our best to put our faith in that God will do for us if we do what he told us to do. And so, sacred season isn't about receiving the blessings of God. It's about surrendering to the plan of God and the will of God in your life, and then aligning yourself for whatever it is that God wants to do for you. And so I truly believe, and then after that, I will pour out my spirit on all flesh. And your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men will dream dreams. And this is Joel 2. This is what the promises of God to his people, and we're just trying to walk that out inside of our lives and inside of our church.
Yeah.
So, top sacred season moment ever for you, whatever it is. Top moment where you're like, hey, this is the moment right here that I remember and I will never forget, for my family, for my life, for my future. Top sacred season moment. You got one, Caleb? Top sacred season moment?
Probably. I mean, when you called us up on stage, what was that, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
2 sacred seasons ago? That was awesome.
Yeah.
And then, obviously, last year, just being the first one that I was on staff for. So my mindset wasn't my individual moment. It was seeing everything that was happening and being able just to watch it in 2 different services and stuff like that. That was awesome, too.
Yeah.
Especially with the, hey, if God's moving right now, we'll baptize you in the middle of this sacred season stuff happening. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was super.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite sort of sacred season moments.
Yeah, super cool. Either one of you guys?
You're up.
Okay. For me, obviously, what I alluded to earlier, the one during the COVID year, I think it was 2020, the year that we were pastoring in Society Hill, and you began to prophesy over myself and Rebecca, and you pointed in the direction of Society Hill, live, drive on. That was awesome. But then last year, like Caleb said, first year on staff, being here in person, just being part of sacred season for so long, where it's all about for lack of a better terms, just us, our family, our church, whatever we're doing there, that moment being on the reverse role of that, aligning myself with you, fasting, praying, and then praying for all those needs. It was intense. It was exhausting. It was incredible all the same. It was an experience like no other, to where, it's always all God, but to see what God did in some of the lives of people that day and to be able to be a part of it was incredible.
Amen. Or something.
I'm flipping through notes and like just seeing just like things that I've written down in the past. Like I wrote down like from going into Sacred Season 2022 was like just praying that I would get closer to God. And I remember I told Joseph, I was like, man, I got my notebook in my car from last year where I did all of my devotions, like where I did all that stuff. It's in the car. I'm gonna go get it. And it was the wrong notebook. Anyway, I remember writing stuff like that down. But then I remember like this past Sacred Season was the one that I bought into the most. Like Sacred Season 2022, like I know I missed a day of fasting. Like I just ate throughout the day. Like it wasn't important. It wasn't as important as it should have been. Or like I didn't do a devotion, or like I didn't do this, or I didn't do that. This past Sacred Season was the first one that I was like, all 21 days, I was all in, I was bought in, nothing was going to stop me. And like, I remember like just waking up at like 4 a.m. Like I don't have to go to work until like noon or like 1 or 2 o'clock, but I would wake up at 4 a.m. and like, one of the things that I remember is like just sitting down at my desk in my room and just getting close to God, like from this past Sacred Season. But like the one thing that I do remember that has carried over was, I think it was Sacred Season where you talked about, bearing fruit in and out of season. Mm-hmm. And like seeing and I was reflecting on it just now, like I'm like racking my brain. I'm like, what's my favorite Sacred Season memory? But like thinking about it now, like I was still like in this past year, I can look at points where I was like, man, I'm a desert. I'm dry. I am far from God. I'm out of sync with my relationship. There's something out of alignment. Like I can look back on those moments and like see those times, and God was still working, and like God was still faithful, and like God was still doing things.
Yeah.
Even though I was in that desert, and I look at a season that I'm in right now, and like I'm in like the Amazon rainforest. Like rain is falling, like things are growing, things are happening. Like I'm reaping things that I shouldn't be reaping, but because of what I did at the beginning of this year, like being bought in, like being totally in on it, even though I went through that season in the middle where it was just dry as a sponge, I'm now seeing that, yeah, even though I got close to God in those 21, and then somewhere in the middle, something happened and I fell off, and it wasn't quite what it was, but now I'm still reaping, and I'm still able to live in that harvest. And like, I'm in the season where like, even though I was bearing fruit then, I'm still bearing fruit now. It's like, it's incredible.
Amen. That's so good. Oh man, my favorite Sacred Season moment is watching a prayer that I prayed unfold, and not even, I'm about to get emotional.
Come
on. 2021. I don't know the date. I don't know. 2021. Had to be. Sacred Season 2021. I had very specific prayer request, and it was, God, we're doing 4 services, and you've got to open up you've got to give me clarity of what the future of our church looks like. And by July of 2021, we come to this facility for the first time, and by December 2021, we're holding our first service here, and not a chance that could have happened had it not been for the hand of God through that process. I'll tell you a Sacred Season story. My wife had a specific prayer request, and I didn't even know about it. I didn't even know it was her prayer request. and we had a situation in our life. And so when the prayer request got answered, she just fell on the floor and started weeping. And I was like, I mean, this is awesome what's happening, but it's not like, shouldn't be this emotional to you. What, like, I'm confused. And so anyways, I just kind of hugged her and I was like, what's going on? And she was like, I didn't even tell you this because I didn't want you to think bad of me, but this was my sacred, this was my, because we always do one together, but then both of us kind of have our own. She said, this was my sacred season's prayer request. This is what I asked God for specifically. She's like, and I honestly thought there, and told him whenever I prayed this, I know there's no way you're going to do this, but this is my prayer request. And she's like, and now 3 months later, God has done exactly what I said there's no possible way for you to do. And now he's done that and more. And so it's just really incredible watching God move even after sacred season. I think that's probably, 3 weeks ago, I received a text saying, you're never going to believe this, my sacred season prayer was answered. Yeah. So seeing that God does it not only during sacred season, but throughout the rest of the year, he's still answering those requests. And what he does in our church is just absolutely amazing and incredible. So if you're out there and you haven't participated in sacred seasons in the past, be a great year for you to jump in and start. Absolutely. And be a part of it. And if you have no clue anything about sacred season and you're like, this is the first I've heard of it, what is it? Just perk your ears up because you will be hearing more about it in the coming days and months ahead. And it's very difficult going from Thanksgiving into Christmas season into sacred season because we don't have much time to almost promote the season. I guess it's a bad word, but to promote the season, we don't have much time because it almost feels like you're constantly talking about Christmas or you're constantly talking about Thanksgiving and people are traveling and they're missing things. So keep your eyes open. We're going to be talking about it more in the future. And that's why we're trying to put this out early so you can start asking questions. Hopefully inside of your small groups, you're already talking about sacred season and what it means to your group and your family. It's going to be special. It's going to be absolutely amazing this year. There's no doubt in my mind. There's an anticipation inside of my spirit for sacred season this year. I cannot wait. It's going to be absolutely bonkers.
Absolutely.
Oh, I can't wait.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
It's cold.
So, it's that time of the year again.
Yes, sir.
It's that season.
It's
two
that
Christmases.
Season.
That's really what it is. It's 2 Christmases.
2 Christmases.
So you get Christmas and then you get Christmas.
So anyways, love you guys. Hope you all have a wonderful day. God bless. Peace.
Later.
Let's go.